Really bad news here for people who have bought hydrogen-powered cars in Europe. Europe, well, they're finally waking up to the reality that hydrogen is currently extremely expensive. It's tripled in price, and there's just not enough hydrogen-powered cars or trucks to actually, well, make this whole concept sustainable. What this means is that people have, built these new hydrogen fuel stations and no one's actually going to them. They're losing money. So now they're shutting down. And I mean, they're shutting down huge, huge numbers of them. That means that if you bought a hydrogen car, you could be in a similar situation to people in California where they're finding themselves stranded and having to get tow trucks. This is becoming very common. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Hydrogeninsight.com, so a website set up to actually support the adoption of hydrogen, says that around 30% of Germany's hydrogen refueling stations will be permanently closed by the end of June this year. 22 stations operated by H2 Mobility were all built for passenger cars only, and they no longer meet today's technical and economic requirements. So basically 22 hydrogen refueling stations, which were built within the last 5 years, it's wasted money. We're talking about probably, I'd estimate, about $60 million just completely wasted here. And if you think about it, if 30% of Germany's hydrogen refueling stations if there's only 22 and that makes up 30% of them, there's probably only around 70, maybe even only 65 hydrogen refueling stations in all of Germany for people who own hydrogen-powered cars. So if you were unfortunately kind of tricked into this con, I've said this so many times, I genuinely feel sorry for people who have found themselves in this situation. To Mobility, who are the biggest supplier of hydrogen to people who own hydrogen cars, they're closing 11 smaller hydrogen refueling stations for cars with 700 bar technology by the end of March. Then 11 more stations will be shut by the end of June. The operator will be focused on only supplying commercial hydrogen-powered vehicles. They're basically saying that there's just not enough demand for hydrogen-powered cars. And it doesn't matter how hard Toyota or BMW or anyone else tries to spruik hydrogen cars, no one's buying them. Well, at least only small numbers of people are being sucked in to the hydrogen car dream. At the end of March, the existing hydrogen refueling stations in the German cities of Neuruppin, Bonn, Flensburg, a bunch of different cities are being closed. The company does not specify in the press release which locations will be affected by the next round of closures. What is clear though, the closure of 22 petrol stations will complete the consolidation they began in 2022. So they're not just closing hydrogen stations, they're closing petrol or gas stations as well. So lots of gas stations being closed, lots of hydrogen stations being closed. And the key reason for this is the projections are that huge numbers of electric cars will be bought in Germany over the next few years. The reasoning is the same. They say this for all shutdowns, older, smaller refueling stations with a focus on passenger cars, some of which no longer meet today's technical and economic requirements, must be removed from the network where this is unavoidable. In other words, there's just not enough demand for them. Here's what the CEO said. The hydrogen mobility market in Germany has changed significantly during this period. For some years now, our strategic focus has been on a regional demand-based expansion of the hydrogen infrastructure for light and heavy commercial vehicles. They're saying there's just no demand for cars, but there is some demand for commercial vehicles, trucks. I think that it's very unlikely there will be a future in hydrogen trucking. I think it'll shift away from that entirely to electric, but I do believe there's going to be a demand for hydrogen vehicles, but they won't be on land. It'll be ships. Refueling commercial vehicles requires technical and structural prerequisites, such as higher filling station roofs, larger aprons for the towing curves of trucks, the ability to store and refuel significantly larger quantities of hydrogen. And this is one of the problems with hydrogen. Storing it is complex and expensive. Most hydrogen refueling stations can only refuel literally 50 cars. So a truck comes along to let's say you own one of these hydrogen petrol gas stations, what do you want to call them? Hydrogen refueling station, you own one. The truck comes, fills it up, and 50 people come and fill their cars up, and then you're done. Finishes, no more hydrogen left. You've got to get the truck to come back and refill. That's really not economically viable. That's the case in California as well as in Germany. These requirements cannot be realized at many older locations originally designed for passenger cars, said the company. And apparently they also say they're difficult to operate profitably anyway, with the very low penetration of hydrogen cars in Germany, but not just in Germany, low penetration of hydrogen cars in all of Europe. In order to ensure the continued operation of a network for fuel cell cars, H2 Mobility is in ongoing talks with various market participants. In other words, they're talking to Toyota, they're talking to BMW, they're talking to these Hyundai about their plans to sell hydrogen-powered cars. Will they sell? Will they not? Obviously, these companies are spruiking hydrogen. I'm sure you've heard Toyota going on about their amazing hydrogen vehicles. They've got a new generation hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. They're saying it's so much better than the last one. They said that last time as well with the updated Mirai. They're still causing huge problems for people. It's a lot of stress, and I really do genuinely feel sorry for people who got sucked into this. In my opinion, all of these hydrogen refueling stations for passenger cars will be shut down over the next 5 years, maybe over the next 6 to 7 years, but they'll all go because it just won't be the need for them, the demand for them. It doesn't make sense. Look at Mercedes' new CLA electric car they released today. Has 800 kilometers of range. You can charge it at your house. You can charge it at your friend's house. You can charge it at your holiday house. You can charge it anywhere, hotels, service stations, gas stations. You can charge the things at EV dedicated stations. You can charge them anywhere. But hydrogen, very difficult proposition. And I believe this is happening not just in Germany, but also in the United States and even in South Korea. South Korea is kind of the home in some ways to hydrogen-powered cars, and people there have just deserted them. They're not selling in South Korea either. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think I'm right, wrong? Let me know in the comments. Toyota are now selling off their hydrogen-powered cars in the United States for around $10,000. Now, that is not fake because actually they're offering a discount of 50% on their hydrogen cars. So $25,000 down from $50,000. Now they were originally around $70,000, but anyway, they come down to 50. Now they've reduced them down to 25. Plus you get $15,000 of free fuel, meaning your equivalent cost here is $10,000. Plus you get 0% interest if you want. So you can put no money down, 0% interest, get a Toyota Mirai, a new car that costs Toyota apparently around $90,000 to make. You can get one for around $10,000, but it's still a damn terrible idea, as pretty much any owner of a Toyota Mirai would tell you. Why would they tell you this? Well, most of them are in court right now. And here's what they are saying. They're suing Toyota. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Now, I'm kind of surprised that that bullet wasn't aimed at me, considering the stuff that I've said about legacy automakers on this channel. You guys full well know that, I'm sure many of them don't like me at all.